This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 960, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Austin, Texas, author, speaker, podcaster, Jamie Ivey.
Hey, guys.
And from Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, and mogul, the svelte, the weight-losing, Derek Miner.
What up, though? Hey, hold on. Don't put that pressure on me, bro, because...
Hey, no, it's public affirmation and accountability. You're wanting to get in that, hot boy summer bod, and you're working on it. You're looking good. I'm just, some positive affirmation midstream.
Well,
you don't have to wait till the finish line.
Can you reintroduce me and put that positive affirmation on me?
Hey, you haven't. Hey, Derek stood up. I saw on camera that he's looking tight. He's gotten it tight. You haven't stood up, Jamie, so I haven't been able to compliment you. But you look fantastic. Your hair looks lovely.
From the
neck up. Jamie always is out here looking fly. I don't know what she's talking about.
That's what I'm saying. Man.
He's got the earring game going today. I affirm, Jamie. Derek, you and Cameron have been talking together about different health regimens. I'm kind of jealous because I ate a full. I've been eating full 12-inch long Subway subs lately. Like, Jesse, I haven't done that since high school.
I used to do that in high school, too.
But they're so good. They're so good, right? Like, you finish the 6-inch, you're like, oh, I could easily. That is an appetizer. That is an appetizer right there. I mean, I think they put something in the bread. I think they're putting something in the bread these days to make you more hungry. Like, there's no way.
I have a question. Y'all don't live around we have a supermarket chain called Publix that is famous for their subs. The pub sub is like when people leave Florida, they don't miss Florida, but they miss Publix. They'll tweet about it over the years.
They have them in Nashville, I think.
We got a lot of Publix.
Oh yeah.
My wife actually just got a new job at Publix Pharmacy. So
someone told me just yesterday, Cameron, that they're coming to Texas. So looky there.
There you go. The pub sub will change your life. You don't have to settle for that slop at Subway like Jesse.
Time out. Here's the problem with the pub sub, and then I want to get to Derek's nutrition.
We won't get to eat fresh sponsorship on this joint.
Yeah, exactly. we were on the brink of being in company with like Tom Brady and Steph Curry. Thanks a lot.
I'm angling for a public sponsorship. Thank you.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with pub subs. Is you go in there your lunch break and you order up a sub, and you're gonna settle in for at least about a half hour, 45 minutes, because it's like ordering a cup of coffee at like Intelligentsia.
It's art.
Oh wow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
like
art.
they're laying each piece of salami and salt bane.
When you're at Subway, they're scooping out meat with an ice cream scooper. When you're at Publix, it's boar's head. It's nice. It's real food.
It's efficient at Subway.
Don't let us all forget, when you leave Subway, you smell like Subway all day long. So do you want that in your life?
You make people hungry.
Look, Subway, I'm not a part of this. If you want to sponsor me, I think your subs are great.
They can sponsor you on your weight loss journey. They've done that before.
Listen, I don't
think eating a loaf of bread every day is going to help on his weight loss journey.
Don't be with Jared.
I'll be the new Jared. Then I was like, you know what? That's a bad idea. We're not going to be the new Jared. Jared is look, take that, Clark. Delete. I am not
it for
the
us
new
all.
Jared.
When I'm in a new town or a new area and it's like, it's lunchtime, I don't even pull up my phone. I don't even look at an app to find the Subway. I just where's like what Jim Gaffigan calls, where's that bread exhaust smell coming from? And I just track it down like a bloodhound.
Exhaust. Stop this.
But Derek, I got a question for you. You're on this health journey. What are the main vices? What are the main things where it's like, this is gonna derail me?
Man,
you got a sweet tooth, don't you?
Yes, I have an ungodly. It's not really a sweet tooth because, bro, I will literally cook a 12-inch. Like I'll cook a 6-inch ribeye steak at 10 o'clock at night. Like I have I like good food tooth. So if it's sweet and it's good, I like it. If it's savory and it's good, I like it. I am a foodie through and through. So the big thing for me is portion size and late eating. So it's like I'll eat and be like, dang, I probably shouldn't have ate that much. But by that time, it's too late. And then high key, I hate working out. Like there's nothing about working out that I like. So what's been working for me is I go play basketball with my homeboy Aaron Cole. Me and him, we hoop. And that helps out a lot. Helps out with cardio. But I do not like working out. I didn't even like it when I was playing like organized sports with high school, college.
Jamie, what is your primary food vice? If you're at a restaurant and this is on the menu, it's like, well, it's happening. I'm ordering.
Mine is going to be salty things. So chips and salsa. I mean, at a Mexican restaurant, I want all the enchiladas. I love cheese. I love chips. I love wine. All the things. It's just like, oh, you should cut all these things out if you want to get healthy. I want them all the time. Also, for me, if I get home at like 5:30, I am like so hungry at 5:30. That's what kills me too. Is I'm like, oh, I should eat an apple. No, how about I just eat an entire bag of chips and salsa instead? That's my problem.
You know what that's why you're getting older, Jamie, because old people start eating earlier and earlier and earlier.
I should just have dinner at 5:30.
Pretty soon. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like my parents have shifted to that mode. Like the other day, like they're like, "Do you want to have dinner?" And I'm like, "Sure." Can we eat it? When do you want to meet? And I was like, 6. They're like, "Oh, that late, really?" I'm like, "When did you turn into retirement, folks? Like, how is 6 o'clock late?"
Am I the oldest one here?
They're like, "Well, we usually eat dinner on the way home from work at like 5:30. I'm like, I ain't living that life.
I could have a mid-afternoon snack of like a DiGiorno, which, by the way, I've been thinking a lot about DiGiorno lately. They
like an entire pizza for a snack?
What?
Oh, yeah. It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno. Literally, no one's ever made that mistake. No one has walked into a living room with a DiGiorno and someone's like, "What was that? Did you get that delivered? Did I miss the delivery man?" It's clearly a DiGiorno. No one has made that mistake one time ever.
So here's the thing that is bothering me right now, Jesse. This is what's bothering me. This man, Jesse, so far said DiGiorno snacks, 12-inch Subways. And have y'all seen what Jesse looks like in person? Because I saw him for the first time last year.
Tall and svelte. An Adonis among men.
Like, he is freaking like 6'1", 6'2". Like, he's a freaking athlete, y'all.
The statue of David come to
you
life.
You can just eat anything and it doesn't
frisbee,
bother you.
The little frisbee and everything. He
is like no lie. Like, so it really bothers me that Jesse, that you're able to eat the most ridiculous thing. This man said he ate a whole sleeve of Oreos.
He's like he's 5 years old. Here's the key though, Derek. The key is he's active. He's at the gym several times a week. He's playing sports all the time. That's the key for him, and that's my issue.
Okay.
Like I'm like, I don't eat that bad.
Moving.
I just don't do anything.
But the only reason I stay active is because I refuse to change my diet. Absolutely refuse. Flat refusal. It's not happening.
I respect it, man.
You're
self-aware.
Hey, he planted his flag in the ground.
He said, "This is the life I want to live, and if I gotta eat if I'm gonna eat the way I want, I gotta do this on the side." And he's maintained
If I want
it.
5 Guys, I'm having 5 Guys. Period. It's a hard stop. If I'm going to hold DiGiorno at midnight, I'm eating a whole DiGiorno at night.
For me, I'm like, I'll want those things, and I'll be like, I can't because I don't want to do the work that like you do. I'm like, I'm not going to go spend an hour and a half in the gym so I can have a DiGiorno at midnight. So I'll just, sacrifice
worth the trade-off. Worth the trade-off.
I agree with you.
So I got this text thread. It's crazy that y'all said that
just now.
Well, I had this text thread, and this is a text thread, and it's sorry.
Oh, I thought it was important.
Now, but Roger Publix was reaching out because he heard. I'm in this
text thread of elder statesmen, and this lady says this. My friend posted this tweet, and this lady says this. She says, "My dad works at a crappy job, drinks too much, and his only friend is his brother. I always thought he led an unfulfilled life, but I had an epiphany. I'm always worried and anxious and angry, but my dad is none of these things. Maybe he actually has life figured out. Maybe I can learn from him. Below is his counterintuitive wisdom from my dad, Chaz. that you won't find in any self-help book. First one, eat like crap and drink like a fish. He says, my dad is on the buffet diet, soda all day like Warren, and liquor at night like Jimmy. He ends the night with a sleeve of Oreos, and he looks great. So eat whatever you want, drink however much you want, and don't stress about your diet. Then he says, think only of yourself. My brother and my dad had a huge fight and stopped speaking to each other. Well, it all goes through all of this, and it's just like, he was like, yo, she was like, yo, the perspective my dad has on his weight, just like, yo, I'm just going to do whatever I want. That's working out for him. I feel like Jesse is kind of knocking on the door of that. Like, Jesse's going to be this, 60, 70-year-old dude that still looks amazing, and he's eating a sleeve of Oreos on the porch, and everybody else is just done.
Listen, you only got so many spins around the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta live your life. It's like when you read those interviews with someone who's like 101 on some local news channel. It's like the oldest resident in Wichita, just turned 103 today, and they're always
saying this every day for the last 83
years. My secret: Twizzlers and bourbon every morning, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Facts. And you know what? Just to be honest, in even my weight loss journey, the less I've stressed about the weight, the easier it has been to get some of it off and to also get into a rhythm. So I think there is some validity. I don't know if it's extreme as, drinking sodas and Jack all day, but you know what I mean? I think definitely not being so hard on myself if I get, if I do indulge a little bit, and just knowing, like, having that balance. So I think there's a little validity.
Look,
Jesse's mastered it, though.
Look, I mean, we have literally the sacraments, okay? The two foods that are meant to remind us of communing with God himself are bread and alcohol.
And wine.
It's like, right. It's like, I think, the subtext is there is God is maybe saying, hey, lighten up with worrying about diet too much. Like, I could have made the and the funny thing is, the one thing that is used as an analogy for evil is a piece of fruit at the very beginning. God's like, look, when my son comes back, the curse of humanity isn't going to be eating from a garden. It's bread and alcohol. That's not me. That's scripture. What do you want?
Hey, if you're Baptist, it's bread and grape juice. Bread and grape juice. So yeah. It was unfermented back in Bible times. That's it's a loose translation.
That's right. Forgot about that.
Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talk to one of our favorite hip hop artists, Wande. She joins us. We also have your feedback. Remember, we moved it to the Friday episode. I do believe we're dipping back to the Coco Podcast Network question of the week. That episode, man, I listened to it again the other day. You were in a rare mood that day, dude. Like, that was so funny. And Derek, you crushed that interview. That was such a good conversation too. Hey,
thank you.
If any of y'all's friends, you're listening right now, if any of y'all's friends have wondered about this podcast, send them that episode, because it was like the two extremes of what we aspire to. Absolutely bizarre humor and really thoughtful, substantive conversation in the same episode. That. So, there you go. Go check out. What was that? What episode, Clark? What episode was that? 957?
It was 957. Dr. Christina Edmondson. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, moving the show along. Stay tuned. Tyler joins us for Relevant Buzz.
I watch the sun setting on the screen. What a mess, what loveliness. What lie. I watch that movie 10 times a day. I can recite it, your prayers replay.
You're listening to Grace Ives. The song is Lullaby. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Please welcome to the show, Relevant Senior Editor Tyler Huckabee, to tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, everybody.
What's the buzz?
Well, this is lots going on as always, but this is a kind of a story that keeps coming up a lot. I'm sure you guys have
Tyler,
heard a lot
what's
about
your stance
this.
on Subway subs versus Publix subs?
Oh, Publix.
No question.
Not even
Okay.
close.
All right,
Yeah,
go ahead.
no contest.
That was all.
Yeah.
I gotta try one. I've never had one. I'm gonna try one for lunch.
Your wife works there. She gotta bring it home. It's like a
She
perk.
just started.
I'm a man
She
of
just
the
started.
people.
She just
Well,
started.
I did hear though that Publix does not offer any discounts for their employees. So there's not going to be any free subs in your future. I heard.
Oh wow.
I'm a man of the people.
I'm
I
telling
like
her
to
to
get my
Dang.
fresh deli products at the same place I can pump gas. That is just to me.
I want my seafood meat scooped with an ice cream scooper or nothing at all.
At the gas
Not
station.
gonna lie. The worst decision I ever
off
made.
the highway in the middle of the country.
The worst
your whole
decision
life.
the worst decision I've ever made in my entire life was getting a euro from a gas station.
Oh, sure.
It was
That's-
I just say we don't get food from gas stations unless it's packaged and
rookie.
it's
You're
chips.
telling me the BP station didn't have fresh lamb meat?
bro. I was on the toilet for months.
If you don't walk in and see
Oh,
one of
no,
those
stop.
spits where they're just shaving the freshly cured meat off of it, you don't want to. You don't
No.
want to.
Walk out.
Yeah,
Walk
This
out.
how I knew I was in trouble.
you don't want prepackaged
You don't wanna eat it.
lamb.
This how I knew I was in trouble, Cameron. So you know they got up front where, you know, like they have the little like bar or whatever where they grab the meat, but usually, you know, they sliced it off the little spinner thing and they put it in there up front for easy access. Well, there was none of it up front. So the lady goes back, turns around under a cabinet and pulls the meat out of a white tub and slaps it on. That's when I knew. I was like, yeah, you making a bad decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you already paid for it though.
Hey,
So,
you're in
you
too
know.
deep. You got to see this
You
thing through
is-
the other side. You know?
I'll say this. I'll say this. The Flying J truck stop is generally not the best place to experiment with high end meats. But
Flying
when you're hungry,
J, I'm going with the Wendy's that's stuck on the side like nothing else. I'm not gonna experiment with the
That's safer.
Subway
Yeah.
that's in there. You don't know what kind of stuff, like things that you see like clouds and kind of and then it like settles. It's settling on all the toppings. You know what I mean? Like
it's just letting the flavor
Oh
all
gosh.
really marinate is what's happening there. And
when somebody opens the
No, this
bathroom
is so
door and there's a
gross.
puff of wind that comes out, that is going to settle on the Subway salad toppings bar. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
there's a sneeze guard. There's a
This
sneeze
is too
guard,
much.
and it's there for a reason. Okay, coming in off the
All right.
road, you just want some lamb meat. Who
Anyway.
hasn't been there?
Tyler, what do you got? What's the buzz?
This was not my buzz is not about this is going to be a hard shift, but we're going to make it. This is a pivot. We are talking about
I'm ready
We've
for
talked
it.
about this a few times, this phenomenon that people are calling the Great Resignation, right? Where people are quitting their jobs and we don't know why. So people are trying to figure out what is happening to these people people. Why are they leaving their jobs and where are they going? Now, since people started complaining about this, we have actually learned that it might be kind of a lot of heat, but not a lot of light around this. People aren't just quitting and not working; they're quitting and going to other jobs that they enjoy more or have more flexibility.
I mean, literally, lowest unemployment in history is right now. I mean, they are definitely going to other jobs. That is
We're
true.
not. So it's a lot of. So it was a little bit of a media, like kind of an artificial panic. But there was an interesting study that came out that I think is important to remember in all of this from a place called JobSage. It's a career guidance service, and they found that over the last 2 years, 1 out of every 4 people who quit their jobs cited the major reason as being their mental health was suffering at their current job. And this just isn't something that you hear talked about very much. You hear about it in this context, so like, well, people just don't want to work, or they're lazy, or it's a greedy thing. They're financially struggling. Those things could all be, there could be varying degrees of truth to that. But for 25% of the people surveyed, actually more than that, 28% of the people surveyed said mental health was their major concern. And actually 2 in 5 Americans overall, not just people who quit, 2 in 5 Americans say they have considered quitting their jobs for the sake of their mental health. So this is I know we talk about mental health a lot, but this is an ongoing issue that is definitely infecting us at a professional level, not just at a personal one with our marriages or parenting, things like that.
I've seen a lot recently too about, kind of even the ability to kind of rethink what a traditional work week looks like. You've heard experiments with like a 4-day work week, but then also people trying to find a balance between working from home, working at an office. And I feel like there's got to be, beyond just like, technology has made it so that no matter what your job is, you can always be accessible and always, for a lot of professions, maybe, there are exceptions, like if you're maybe, a manual laborer, work in the service industry. But for a lot of jobs, you can do your job anytime, anywhere with, a lot of different devices. Sure. Mm-hmm. And, I feel like we're probably going to get to a point. I don't think it'll be like a legislative point where emails after a certain time will be against some sort of labor law. But I do think there will probably be some common understanding at some point that, look, there are mental health consequences to not being able to ever unplug. And I think some professions are probably more like this than others, but there are a lot where I feel like a lot of the mental health issues that people are dealing with, kind of post-pandemic in the workplace, where they have been kind of working non-traditionally and working from home and kind of working from the road and working outside of what is kind of the typical American work hours. I think that's having taken a toll on people, in addition to just the stress of trying to make ends meet in modern life. It's, when you for a lot of people, when they work from home, they realize they're always at work. And that's, without setting some sort of healthy boundary. And look, for a lot of people, I like working. You know what I mean? Like, I like what I do. I like being creative. I like working with my colleagues. But at the same time, I think everyone has to come to the realization, either, through the advice of others or just through, some challenging personal experience of like, hey, it's probably better if I set up some boundaries. I'm probably going to sleep better, probably going to eat better. I'm probably going to be more efficient when I'm like kind of locked in. I think we're kind of collectively learning that lesson together.
Yeah.
The 8-hour workday was just arbitrary. It was around the Industrial Revolution, and they came up with it so people, the common worker, could wrap their head around dividing up their day. 8 hours of rest, 8 hours of recreation, 8 hours of work. And that's it. There wasn't some like magic formula to an 8-hour workday or 5-day work week. I mean, it was just like literally arbitrary. So simple-minded humans can clock in, clock out, and
but who's working 8 hours? I mean, golly, man. Yeah. Like people are working. I know my wife. As a pharmacist, this is a doctor. I mean, her shortest day is 10. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's different professions are very different, obviously, but like that standard work, 8-hour workday, 40-hour work week thing is just.
But you're saying, Derek, that even since the time of the Industrial Revolution, with like Jesse saying, the lack of boundaries means that we don't eat into our those 8 hours for recreation, which is a nice idea in theory. It's really easy, especially for those of us who are working at home or who have very demanding jobs with a lot of pressures like your wife does. It's easy for that to just start slipping, like you spend a little more time at work or you got a little more to do than you had time for. And instead of having to go home from the office, you're just like, well, I'm already in my home office. So
Think
I can just
about
keep
her
typing
setup
or keep
though.
working.
She's there working. She could walk 40 feet down, get a nice fresh sub. She
That's true.
has everything at her
Not
disposal.
where she was at
recreation.
before. Not where she
Not
was
anymore.
at before.
Yeah, I know. Not her old spot, but her new
Not at a
spot. Who would
discount.
want to leave?
But now she's at
Who would
Publix.
want to go home to Derek Minor when you have fresh subs 40 feet from where you're working?
Derek can make a
Every
sub.
woman in the world. That's who. Every woman in the world. Player, big papa partner. You feel me? He had to make me go in my bag real quick. You feel me? But
Derek, which Publix is she at?
all of them. She's
All of them?
floating.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, there we go. I live right by one. I'm right by the East Nashville one. I'll stop in.
All right, what else you got, Tyler?
So this is an interesting story that tackles a justice issue from a different perspective than we usually hear about or that we talk about on this show. Did you guys follow at all the case of the 4 men who were arrested in connection with hatching a plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer? Do you guys remember this story at all? Have you followed any of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I remember it. I haven't followed
Did you
it.
see the outcome of what happened this week? What the jury found in the case of these
They
4
were
guys?
essentially acquitted, right?
Two of the
Tell
men
us.
were acquitted, and 2 other of the men ended in a mistrial. The jury was not able to come to a conclusion on them. So it's a very interesting case, and there's a lot of details to it, which we wrote about over on relevantmagazine.com. But basically, what the jury found was that this was a case, according to their decision, of some sort of entrapment. The undercover agents who were involved with these men goaded them, manipulated them into committing crimes that they otherwise would not have hatched on their own. They said there was evidence that they were drinking with these guys, that in some cases they got high with these guys, they used marijuana, and then filmed them saying things, hatching things, coming up with plots that they did not have the intention or even the resources really to pull off without the help of these federal agents who were trying to catch them in the act. The jury found that essentially, according to their attorney, they said, here in America, we do not make terrorists just so we can arrest them. And despite a huge amount of evidence, and there was a huge amount of evidence that the defense was not allowed to bring to trial, the judge was very, very unfriendly towards the defense's case. The jury found that it was just a very threadbare case when you took away the fact that there were agents who were sort of pushing their buttons in the minds of the jury to get them to do this thing. And without that, all you really have is them talking about stuff that is protected by the First Amendment. So it's a really interesting case. It kind of calls to mind some of the Quantill operations towards the Black Panther Party in the 70s, which we've obviously read a lot about. But it's an interesting case of what does justice look like in something like this, or how do you punish something like this? And there's not a lot of great answers to that. But 2 of these guys are walking free, and 2 others will have a trial coming up here in the next few months.
I've tried this defense every time I get pulled over for speeding.
Yeah.
And I tell the cop, like, you were behind me, so I tried to speed up to give you some room. And you pushed me into speed. I always get tickets.
Entrapment.
How's that working out for you?
But there is, I mean, this case does demonstrate or illustrate, this tendency with some law enforcement institutions. There was a case here in Virginia. I mean, it's about it's a decade or so ago. It ended tragically with the suspect was actually killed in a SWAT team raid on accident. One of the police officers accidentally shot him, but it was a local young guy who law enforcement was trying to bring down, like, gambling rings or something. So they ended up striking up a conversation with essentially a friend of someone involved in gambling at a bar, someone who wasn't even interested in gambling, but kind of talked him into hosting poker games and kind of low level stuff just so they would have a case, just so that they would have a suspect. And it ended up, this guy didn't even want anything to do with it, but he felt pressured by these people, by these other guys who ended up being undercover federal agents who it was a case of entrapment. And, obviously this case in Wisconsin, it's not too dissimilar where, Tyler, to your point, it was federal agents creating criminals out of normal people. And, it is a, I think when you see the case on the surface, you're like, well, how could they not be guilty? But then when you see how they were kind of essentially kind of baited into saying certain things and doing certain things, you can see why it's very problematic to take just average Americans and then turn them into criminals just so you have someone to prosecute.
Every time I have a house party and the cops show up for noise complaints, I try the same defense, and it just hasn't worked out.
Mm-hmm. It's an entrapment. You were blowing your sirens. We couldn't hear each other.
There's undercover cops here at the party, and they were saying, "Crank it up to the windows." And I was,
yeah.
He put on that. He put on that new Usher song. What was I supposed to do? That is entrapment, sir. Have you heard the new Drake? Have you heard the new Drake? How am I supposed to play it at a low level? If that's not entrapment, take me to the Supreme Court. Take me right now.
I'm sure at the police ball, you guys turned the weekend down. Here we right. Tell me that with a straight face.
All right, what else you got?
Last thing we want to do, I just wanted to know, this is just, we don't do this necessarily a whole lot, but this is sort of a fun, if you are somebody who's been waiting for the time to go back to the movie theaters, now is the time. I wanted to shine a light on a few upcoming movies that we're really excited. I'm really excited about. The Relevant Offices. We were talking about them a bunch yesterday, and if now would be a time, if you feel safe, to get back into the movie theater and support some like not necessarily like tentpole Marvel movie type franchises, but actually see some really good movies. You have Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is starring Michelle Yeoh, which is in wide release this weekend. That's been directed by Daniels, and I'm very, very excited about this one. Been hearing a lot about this one. Got raves at the film festivals when it was released last year. And now we get a chance to see it.
My son has already seen it, and he loved it.
We have to bring him on as like our roving reporter.
Did he sidle up for a shift, an unauthorized shift at the movie theater to see it?
No, he was a regular. Consumer. Regular consumer.
Dang, you trying to blow his spot up, Cameron?
It's a great grift, man. He puts on the theater shirt from when he was employed there, and he just shows up, sits in the back row. He's good.
Walk in.
Yep. Anyway,
Cameron a cop.
Yeah, this is Cameron's own entrapment. Yeah.
I was entrapped by my shirt. I'm so sorry.
You also have The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This is Nick Cage as Nick Cage and Nick Cage. It's very, very meta.
Screener on Tuesday.
Great reviews. Yeah, Cameron's going to go see it early. There's an Orlando screener that would be relevant. Getting very, very good early word of mouth buzz out of this one. Excited to see how Nicolas Cage captures the role that he was born to play. Following that, you have The Northman. That's starring one of the Skarsgård brothers. I get them all confused, but one of those Skarsgård boys and Robert Eggers. Loose riff on the sort of Viking Hamlet. It sounds like a Viking spin on the Hamlet story. Also getting great reviews. And then this one is a Marvel movie, but it's one to get excited about because Sam Raimi is directing the latest Doctor Strange. It's been a long time since we got something from sort of an auteur director, a really serious filmmaker who has been very adamant that they use as few green screens as possible, use actual sets. And of course, Benedict Cumberbatch is always fun to watch in that role. So it's excited about all these. Can't speak to the content of any of them, so don't want to give a blanket go see it statement. but we'll obviously be covering these at the site. So as they come out and as we can see them, we'll make sure you're up to date on how they are. But it's pretty fun. It should be a fun couple of weeks.
Tyler's Takes, everybody.
Tyler's Takes. Kids Corner.
I like it. It is a good little run of movies coming up. I'm glad. I'm not really into the CGI movies, so I'm excited about.
Well, it's your time to shine.
But nah, bro, hold on. I'm with the CGI movies, but I like other movies too, though. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
You like pizza and you like chocolate. I mean, I get it. You like,
you feel me?
Yeah.
All of them.
All right. Well, there's a lot more where that came from. Go check out relevantmagazine.com. Follow us on all the socials. We're publishing stuff all day, every day. Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Stay tuned. Up next, Wande joins us.
No, don't ever look down. The risen sun, don't ever look down. Dying and left is coming soon. No, don't ever look down. The risen don't ever look down. Dying and left is coming soon. Hey yo, wake up, you wanna rock like a ship to paradise. And jet fuel is Christ's blood. Pick your chin up and pick your
You're
chin
listening
up.
to
We only
Streetlights
wish your
and
name
Prisms. The song is Don't Look Down.
time.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times best-selling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way his spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose the Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold. Well, our guest today is Wande. She's a Nigerian Christian hip-hop artist based out of Austin. She's the first female artist assigned to Reach Records, actually. She's known for her amazing songs like Don't Worry About It and Blessed Up. Well, she recently sat down with Tyler to discuss her journey in the industry and where she hopes Christian hip-hop will go next. Here's our conversation with Wande.
Bearing that fruit now, I got the juice. God has been cooking now, I got the soup. Put this together, yo, Willie, you clever, I cannot do better.
Creatively, how you doing? Do you feel? I feel like a lot of people were feeling a little bit like kind of creatively uninspired coming out of like pandemic stuff, and you're locked down, and some days it's harder to write than others. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, as creatives, we go in waves, and of course, like a lot of us, feel a lot of emotions because that's how we emit it into the music. So I would say there's ups and downs, but overall, I feel like I just keep myself surrounded by things that inspire me. So it kind of helps me as I go into the studio, always have something to talk about.
What sort of, like when you say keep stuff around you that inspires you, what sort of stuff does that look like?
Yeah. So recently I've actually been really into art. So I've actually been going to museums lately. And so that's been actually really inspiring for me. Just like the colors and all of that stuff. I don't know. It's just like the beauty and the awe. It's like, wow, like, man, God created these talented people who are doing all these things, and even nature, stuff like that makes me want to just now talk about God and how creative he is and just the things that he's been able to create on this earth.
Do you ever feel like when you're looking at when you're looking at other visual art or maybe you're watching a really good movie or something like that it creates an emotion in you, a sense in you, whether that's, respect or beauty or heartbreak, or it can be anything. You're like, I want to do that, but with music. Do you ever get that impression? Is that something that is it hard for you to know how to translate those feelings into making music, or does that come pretty easily?
No, I think it's honestly like, that's exactly the description I would use of like how it inspires me. Like whenever I see like a beautiful art painting, like that just feels alive and lively, I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. And like, I can feel the emotion and it's just a picture. So then it does inspire me to now then be like, I want to make people feel alive and feel like the joy of the Lord through my music. And so it's an interesting thing to translate into words, but like, I think instruments kind of fulfill that process. And so instruments help create almost what you can experience through painting.
I've been down, tell me what you see. I've been laying low to scope the scene. I've been up, tell me what you see. I've been reaching up because they need.
I came down, I ain't stopping, I'm on go. God feel sounds, I'm a healing with the hope.
Do you feel like from the time when you first started performing to now, have you seen how you handle a live show change? Do you feel like you've grown as a performer? Do you feel like you've gotten better? Or how has your perspective on performing changed?
I would say the biggest change I've experienced is just like my communication. I think as my fan base has increased, I've like increased a sense of urgency to be like, wow, like if I'm captivating this many people's attention, like let me use this to like actually communicate a beautiful message or communicate the things that God's been teaching me. Cause it's like, wow, I have this window of time to impact people's lives. So I think it's impacted me the most in terms of me not just being like, oh, let's just have fun, but be like, let's have fun, but like actually impact an important message with this time that we've been given in front of this audience.
That's a lot of responsibility. Do you feel that responsibility? Like, does that feel like kind of a weight on you?
Yeah, for me, almost it's like not even just like a weight. It's almost like a joy, I guess, to an extent. It's like,
oh, cool.
Versus saying like, oh, I have to do this. It's like, oh, I get to do this. Like, wow, like this is beautiful that God has trusted me enough to be like, tell my people about, you know, that they're loved, that they're amazing. Like tell the people about who God is. So for me, it's not so much a weight, but like a joy that ignites me to keep going.
How about as a songwriter? How do you feel like you've changed as a songwriter since you first started out to now today?
Yeah, I think just because, of course, I've also like kind of gotten more into adulthood, I would say I've matured more. So one, I'll always talk about Jesus because I love Jesus so much. So like this is constantly on my brain. But I would say too, just like enduring more life, you know, adulting, seeing real responsibilities and stuff like that. I think it's changed my writing too to like incorporate those type of things because people are going through real life issues. Like I lead a small group at my church. And so with the small group, like when we talk about real life, like people are going through real things. So I think that inspires me too, to like, oh, let me encourage them in these type of ways too, because people are going through real life issues.
Yeah, feeling like a fresh white tee. Ay, grace that shit on me. Ay, money can't really buy me. Ay, some of y'all press that tea. Ay, feeling like a fresh white tee. Ay, grace that shit on me. Ay, money can't really buy me. Ay, reckless, ay, I ain't fearing no man. What is he gonna do? Gotta believe I'm shot like it's Pikachu. See, I'm walking by faith.
As you kind of look to the future for your career and just for you personally, you've obviously come a long ways. You've been able to accomplish a lot in the last few years. Where would you like to go? What if there was assuming there's no ceiling, what would you like to see change about the music you make, the message that you have, the kind of people that you're talking to and working with? Do you have any plans on that front?
Yeah, I would say I think my heart recently has been growing a lot more for women. I would say before it was kind of just neutral, like, oh, I just want everybody to know about Jesus. But I would say like, I think now like God has been creating a special place in my heart to really just make women feel loved. I think he's been highlighting a lot of women in my life to me who just gone through just a lot of things. And like a lot of things that society is just always constantly pushing on you on social media and stuff like that. So I think God has really highlighted to me that I really want to just create almost like a ministry through my music and through my lifestyle of just letting women know that they're loved, that they're beautiful, letting them know like there's a special way like God can use them through their life and that they don't have to just be a fake version of themselves to try to fit in, but they can be authentically who God created them to be. And just educating people. I love educating people with knowledge because I feel like knowledge is power as well. So a lot of people just don't have access to resources. So they just sit in the dark and they never accomplish goals and visions because no one ever encouraged them or shared with them resources. So for me, I think the biggest expansion I want to do is just empowering people. Like I want to empower you with knowledge, with wisdom, with encouragement. And let's go.
Do you have any theories about why that? Because it's one thing to, I think a lot of people, we hear that, and women do hear this sometimes, they hear you're loved, you're beautiful, you're perfect as is. But it's so hard to hold on to that. It's so hard to internalize that. Why do you think that message is such a difficult one to hold on to and what do you want to do to try to help teach, especially women in this case, a better way to make sure that is a real daily part of their experience, especially with God?
Yeah, I think because mass media is preaching like a different gospel and saying this is what beautiful is, or this is how you're loved. And usually it's by attaining things or by sinning. That's how people are getting loved in these TV shows. So I think that's why it's so hard to hold on to, because then it's like, okay, God, you're saying this, but this TV show is saying this. And so I think that's why I want to just do that with my lifestyle. I think it's really big just to show representation. So me just being authentically myself, even on social media, showing people like, oh, wait, she loves Jesus and she's openly loving herself. So I guess there is people who exist who can love God and be normal and, you know, do this thing. So I think even just me taking one step to be authentically myself and loving myself out loud and encouraging others to do the same, that's even one step in the journey for other women. I actually created an online community called Vibely. And so on Vibely, it's like almost like a group chat thing. So we have it separated into different categories. I have like a holy girl group chat. And so it's really cool because on that group chat, we all get together and talk, and I can encourage them, and I share videos and just different things like that, and encouraging scriptures and different challenges. So that way we can all encourage each other on the journey.
Yeah. I just want to feel elevated. Yeah. Wake up in the morning, say goodbye the morning. Want to feel that levitation. Yeah. Be on cloud nine, feel like I'm flying, but I'm in this situation, yeah. Into me is crying, out of me is dying, happiness and imitation. Yeah.
That was Wande. You can see more of that conversation with her and some other Christian hip-hop artists in the spring issue of Relevant. You can read it for free. You can read the ad-supported version for free at relevantmagazine.com. And if you're a Relevant Plus subscriber, you get your ad-free enhanced edition right there in your account dashboard. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
Can we tell God from a man-made king? Can we tell love from a promised ring? Can we tell the kingdom from the kingdom when we lay our head down at night? Gunshots, smoke, cause the air I bleed. I'm tired of fighting wars if you're a casualty. Can we tell the kingdom from the kingdom when we lay our head down?
You're listening to Christine DeMarco. The song is You Are My Country. Okay, it's time for your feedback. So back on episode 957, we mentioned it. We learned about Jesse's scheme to prank Virginia Beach, Virginia by being a shadow figure and his reflective mirror on the street there in the busy beachfront area of Virginia Beach. And so I told him I have a gorilla mask. He should put that on, just kind of freak people out. And it got us talking about people thinking there was a gorilla inside that building, a podcasting building. Clearly it's Coco, the trained monkey, doing the Coco Podcast Network. We asked you, if a gorilla had a podcast network, what sorts of podcasts would be on it? You guys hit us up at Relevant Podcast on Twitter and hear some of our favorite replies.
I like this one from O Kaiserbaum. This one seems, he says, the tagline for the show would be, because dating is a jungle out there, and it would be Harambe, but it's spelled, the Bay is B-A-E. Remember, you guys remember the Harambe meme? I'd listen.
Harambe, because dating is a jungle out there.
I would get, even if I just knew that is what this podcast is called in the tagline, I'd give it a shot. I'd give it one episode to find out what direction they're taking this.
Paul Moore says bananas on your cereal, and then it's the cereal podcast that was out a couple of years ago. I thought that was funny. Bananas on your cereal.
Our very own Tyler Huckabee replied,
I know,
with the NPR Planet Money logo, but he added a K, and it's Planet Monkey, the Planet Monkey Show. I like that. It's a money show for the Coco Podcast Network. This orangutan life, Timmy Boy.
We have this monkey life and this orangutan life, which I like. It's like the old it's like the old podcast adage, like any narrative show eventually just becomes This American Life. Like any narrative podcast just transforms into a slightly lesser version than This American Life eventually.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
Somebody said same topics as Joe Rogan, and I was like, wow.
Alex Burks.
All right, Alex Burks.
Basically, the Joe Rogan show
is
pretty savage.
Alex.
No different.
I mean, they literally have a chimp sound effect at the beginning of every episode of that podcast. So
are you serious?
Yeah.
I've only listened to parts of a couple of them.
Yeah.
It's not really my thing, but well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of good ones in here. Kaiser said the same thing. He said fostering bananas, cooking for your troop. So bananas foster.
I get it. Fostering bananas.
So yeah, that's pretty clever.
Yeah,
Well,
I like it. Yeah.
Tim Schindler said that he was yelling the whole time. It has to be sponsored by MailChimp.
That's right. The Coco Podcast Network.
Aaron pointed out, well, this is true, Conan O'Brien already has a Team Coco Podcast Network, so maybe we could just merge there.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Well, there's a lot more where that came from. Go check it out. There's a lot. You guys were very creative. I think, Jesse, you need to get on this. I think it's the next project for your team.
I think so. I mean, we've already abducted a few, apes that are, chained up here, and we're just feeding bananas to, waiting to do something with them. And so hopefully...
Or are you giving them alcohol?
Yeah, exactly. Get them nice and loose.
You remember the last slice we had where they were testing out alcohol on the monkeys?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, it was. I think the slice was they were testing a medicine that would end people's alcohol dependency, but the only way they could safely test it was to make monkeys addicted to alcohol. Which
maybe it's one of the more reformed monkeys. Like maybe it's like a. Like, you know what I'm saying? An AA. And it's like, maybe that's a podcast. That could be
reform that way. I thought you meant like reformed theology. I was like, what does that have to do with a monkey bar?
I don't know. No, I don't even know nothing about that. I don't listen. My comments have been clean for like 1 month. The last thing I need is some dude with a Charles Spurgeon avatar getting on my comments. I don't want no smoke with y'all. Y'all leave me alone. I
have a real question, Derek. Maybe you can enlighten me on this. How come so many in the last decade? How come so many Christian hip hop guys were very outspokenly reformed theology? I always wondered that. Really?
Ambassador. Yeah, he Ambassador took Lecrae under his wing, and Lecrae took a lot of us under his wing. So I think you could point most of that back to him.
I wasn't going to name names, but I was just curious. I know
bro,
Crossmovement guys.
Look, shout out to y'all reform dudes. I don't want no smoke with y'all, but yeah, that's just not me. So I'm not on the boat. So y'all could just y'all do y'all thing. I'm gonna do mine, and I love y'all.
It does seem like Derek, now that you mention it,
stay over there. Leave me alone.
It does seem like a lot of the reform crowd is, a lot of times looking for some sort of debate where,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, where it's like, I don't.
Why is that though? It seems unique to the reformed stream that they want to fight about theology all the time.
I think they're a very intellectual type of people. And so then they would think, I have to tell them what is right. I have to inform them of all the things that are right because I'm
so
very
you're saying there's
smart.
not intellectuals in the Southern Baptists or something? You're saying a bunch of dumb people?
A lot of reformed people are Southern Baptists.
A lot of reformed is Southern Baptists.
Yeah. I don't think that's like a denomination at all. And so I think you'll find it a lot of places. But I think there's this kind of like, I'm super, super smart.
There's definitely a reformed charismatic stream for sure.
I think that when you put, I think this is a issue with religion across the board, but when you put the focus on conversion, and when it's on conversion and it's on proclamation, then what it does is it empowers people that don't have enough life, that hasn't have enough life stick to their ribs. Like, I mean, literally, you seeing guys come into this reform thing, read a few books by Jonathan Edwards or some old dead white guy, and then they're like off to the races. They're in parks debating, reforming, or whatever. And it's not because you put so much emphasis on conversion and on proclamation. And I think that's, if there's any flaw that I would say in, I'm not saying every reformed person is like that, but I'm saying for a lot of the young, zealous people, like they don't really train them on much outside of knowledge. And the Bible says knowledge puffs up. You don't really see a lot of people saying, hey, you should work more on like loving people that may not necessarily agree with what you're saying. Like, that's not really one of the tenets. So it just winds up being a bunch of people arguing with one another. And then also it's a very exclusive thing, like the exclusivity, like there's only these people that have it right. And then everybody that doesn't have it right, it's okay for you to forcefully debate because you're standing for truth. So it doesn't matter about their feelings, facts, none of that. You're standing for truth. So truth, regardless of whether you know it to be true or not, you're standing for it, and you have to put your foot down. So it's like, again, reform people, I don't want no smoke. Y'all leave me alone. Leave me alone. Like, you could hit Tyler Huckabee up or Jesse Carey. They will gladly take all of your debates, and they would.
It feels to me like there's this fine line between knowing why you believe what you believe and standing for truth,
Yeah.
but not being pharisaical. We're not being holier than thou, and that almost like a spirit, like a, I don't know, like a righteousness, like a haughtiness comes upon you. Like there's a fine line there. It seems like the people who like know their theology the most are the most judgmental and argumentative. And then the people who are like, nah, God is love. They just don't even know why they believe what they believe. They don't know what the Bible says. So it's like,
there has to be a balance, right?
Right.
I also,
right. Somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah, I also think we saw a lot in like the early 2000s of this whole movement of young reform people and this really standing the ground. And I want to talk about this all the time, and I want to debate about this all the time. I personally don't see that craziness as much anymore. And all my cards on the table here, I probably subscribe to a lot of those ideas as well. And so, but I'm not like that. But I think a lot of people would say they would put the issues that they believe about what makes someone reformed, and they would take those to like a top, like die on the hill table when they don't need to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to, if you don't believe this, then you're not a real Christian. And that's not true, because that's not what the Bible says. And so I think that we've seen a decline in that a little bit. Don't come for Derek, you guys. But I think
just leave me alone. I spent
Derek Minor,
Derek
Minor.
No, I spent so many years in that world not knowing where the heck I was at. Listen, y'all, we done broke up. I don't know if y'all know, but it's like, I love y'all, but we not dating no more. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, please.
Did you block their number?
Bro.
Did you block their number, or can they still like do a you up?
I block everybody, bro.
All right.
Bro, and this, I don't care if you reformed, atheist, I don't care who you are. If you a clown, I used to feel like I was weak for blocking people. Like, man, I should be able to take this abuse. But it's like, nah, you getting blocked, bro. Like, that's just what it's finna be. So it's a useless effort, bro. I love y'all, but just leave me alone. Thank you. All right, next time.
When people ask my theological leanings, I just usually say exhausted. Just I don't have the bandwidth to really dig in right now, to be honest.
My theological lean is I love Jesus and I don't know much. That's my theological lean. It's like, I love Jesus. I don't really know a whole lot. But if you're in my vicinity, I'm gonna love you as much as I can. That's my theological lean. Everything else, the nooks and crannies of the scriptures, I have my opinions and my thoughts on it. But you know what? At the end of the day, man, I'm just here to love people. That's it.
Just the fact that like you could be watching on Twitter like a debate between two Christians, and they're debating theology using the same Bible to come to completely different conclusions. Just kind of says that we maybe need to hold this with an open hand and walk in humility, that God, can speak and reveal himself in different ways at different times. I don't know. It just seems like, why does everybody get so angry about that stuff? We know in part, we see in part, we don't have it all figured out. Sorry,
And I'll give a warning to all of the young listeners that are listening. I was at one point in time, I was where you're at, and 85% of the people that I grew up with don't believe most of the stuff they believed 10 years ago. And more than likely, I don't know what it's going to look like 10 years from now. So don't blow up your whole life, your friendships, your families, and all those different things over stuff you don't know if you'll believe 10 years from now. Now, I hope you're still a believer, a Christian, but I'm like, I know people that would have fought you with fists over Reformed doctrine, and they don't even subscribe to most of it anymore. That now, will they go back to it? I don't know what's going to happen, you know? And I know other people that were like, hey, I don't believe, you know, they were to the left wing and then they swung to the right. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, let's just hold everything but Jesus and love with an open hand. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like that, we put that in a closed hand, right? We love Jesus and we love people. And everything else, I'm not finna debate you over catechisms and what happened with some old guys, Martin Luther and all them. Just not.
The window to the wall. I don't know why you said from this to this and the Little John song got stuck in my head. We had a debate. I woke up this morning with the Golden Girls theme song stuck in my head, and it has been in my head on loop as y'all been talking.
You know it's going to be a good day when that happens. You know,
I don't know why, and it wasn't just the normal theme song. It was that guy that went viral for doing the runs and stuff in the Golden Girls theme song. You know what I'm talking about? Like, even through a party.
First off, them theme songs was fire back in the 80s, though.
Everyone you knew.
It was like, because they would basically sum up the entire like elevator pitch for the show, introduce every character, and then just hint. There was also like, it was very important to establish what city this sitcom takes place in, and there has to be a couple bars.
Perfect Strangers was all about Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like none of this is relevant to the show. Like this Perfect Strangers or Family Matters, it could be in any town in America, and it would not change the show at all.
San Francisco was the star
some reason,
of
we need
Full
to
House.
establish with about a 3.5 minute pop song. Every character.
Theme music had a run. The 80s, the 90s, and like the early 2000s had some high quality theme songs. Like think about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like
I don't know.
that
Chip
joint
and Dale's
was
Rescue
fire.
Rangers.
Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Hey, them joints was fire, yo.
What about Three's Company? You remember Three's Company? Martin.
Three's Company.
DuckTales.
Yep.
Woo.
Dude, hey, they had some theme songs for real.
You know who ruined it? Lost.
Oh.
That was the entire theme song for Lost. And now all of a sudden shows just load their logo.
It's just on.
It reminds me of everyone needs to go back and watch Too Many Cooks. Do you guys remember that? That kind of Adult Swim video prank from, I don't know, it was probably 6-7 years ago, maybe longer. But it ran on Adult Swim. So in the middle of the night, a theme song intro from like an 80s sitcom just started playing on Adult Swim, but it just kept going and going and introducing more characters as the song was just like too many cooks, and it was about the Cook family, but they just kept introducing characters for like 10 minutes, and then like there's like one of them is like a puppet alien guy, like an Alf type of 80s character, and
Alf.
then he starts fighting the family, and it just like descends into just chaos. But anyway, if anyone's looking for a good send up of 80s theme songs, Too Many Cooks is a classic.
So I'm gonna put the pinnacle. This might need to be question of the week. What is the Mount?
It is. It's going to be question of the week. So go ahead.
What's the Mount Rushmore of theme songs? For me, I got Jeffersons.
Oh, I was going to say the Jeffersons.
I got Jeffersons. I got Fresh Prince.
Mm-hmm.
I got Full House.
What about Different World?
Mm-hmm. And Different World. It's gonna be either Different World, but then guess what though? We can't leave out Steve Urkel and Family Matters. That's a high level theme song.
What about Dallas? Did y'all watch Dallas?
No.
Y'all didn't watch Dallas.
We're not
White
90s.
people in Texas.
I'm not in Texas. Texas, Dallas. I was like, yo, I don't
Dallas
know what's
was a
going on. They
thing.
got cowboys, is oil and all this stuff. I'm
Somebody
like,
got
man,
murdered. We don't know
It was
who
like
did
every
it.
show in the 80s had epic theme songs. It seemed like drama, Magnum PI, didn't matter. And then in the 90s, it was just almost like the sitcoms, like the TGIF shows invested in the theme songs and the cartoons.
Home Improvement's theme song was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you do that? Like, what would make you do that? Like, what was happening when you was in the tracking session?
I don't remember
The entire
all
theme
this.
song. Yeah. So somebody's like,
my
hey,
gosh.
what if we just auto-tuned Tim Allen grunts for like 45 seconds? That's and they're like, no, what's the theme song? They're like, it's just
Sold.
Tim Allen
It's
grunts.
that.
Yeah, it's just.
All right,
we'll just
so that is the
auto-tune
question
it.
of the week.
Yeah.
Tell us your Mount Rushmore of show theme songs, your favorite ones, and why. Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast or wherever you see us post this question on socials, and we'll read our favorites and play some of them on next week's show. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Wande for joining us today. Make sure to check out her music and head over to relevantmagazine.com to read more of our interview with her. She's featured with some other great artists in the spring issue of Relevant. Again, the ad-supported version is available for free at relevantmagazine.com. And if you want the enhanced edition, tablet edition, ad-free, you can sign up now for Relevant Plus. The issue is stacked. Ryan Reynolds, Bob Goff, Channing Tatum, Madison Pruitt, Shauna Niequist, so many more. It's incredible lineup. Go check it out. Also, while you're at relevantmagazine.com, make sure to sign up for our daily newsletter to keep up with all the great new content we're putting out on the site. You get our top 5 trending articles in your inbox every morning. It's a great way to stay in touch. Also, another great way is to follow Relevant on all the socials. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, where you are. Publishing every day. Make sure to follow Relevant. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Jamie Ivey.
I'm Derek Miner.
We will see you next time. Have a great one.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Relevant Podcast Network.